We were counting on you to bring snacks. Good thing we
I know.
we had some.
That's right. Thank you, Rob. I was just getting on. My hair was still wet from the shower.
Ready to go whenever you are.
Okay, thank you. I will call this meeting of Special Service District Number 1. It's station 28 at 4:11 p.m. Present are
Kaylin, I can't hear you.
3/5 of the board. Get that water bottle out of the way. Get that owl over here.
Diane online, Kevin and myself, Kaylin, as well as district staff, Jessica, LJ, Mike, and Chris. First item is citizens input. Sarah, come on in.
Are you there, Sarah?
Hold on, I got.
She's at the bottom.
She is at the bottom.
Is she off to the side? I don't think she's entered in yet, though.
She's working on her
Okay.
audio.
Okay.
Is her camera off? Is that what that
Her
icon is?
camera, yeah, her camera is off. It looks like her
Sarah,
audio is on there,
Oh,
yes.
there she is.
Sarah, can you hear us?
Hi, Sarah.
Yes, that was very difficult for some reason. I couldn't get on. Did you guys start?
Yes, we
Yes.
started and we're at citizens. So, and you're up. What's on-
Okay. I'm extremely exhausted, but I just wanted to say a couple things. Just a reminder, when I moved here in January 2000, 2 days after that, I was at the center volunteering. I joined the nonprofit board. We started the Wednesday morning recycle club for 7 years. We raised money when the center had the nonprofit had to close because they didn't have enough funding. Like in one day, I got 3 times the amount of money to keep it open. It was very underutilized, and I did cheerleading all throughout the community. We did massive cleanups and took all of the material there that was good. Recycling isn't a single act, it's part of a global show of respect. And I'm just feeling very disconnected from the center. And I'm confused about some of the things going on, like a hybrid single stream installation and saving pennies on things like canisters, where I'm paying like $12 every couple of weeks for the public recycling where I grab the canisters. And I've heard from other members of the public, maybe I can save them all and take them to the hazardous waste day for free, but I've written to you guys and I just never hear anything. Is it possible that one board member could be someone that responds to people? Because I did write an email asking, could the board consider banning, like you banned other things like cardboard from the Moab landfill, ban e-waste from the landfills? These rare earth metals are toxic, they're rare, and we can save them and collect them. So, I mean, the whole mission statement of your organization is to promote zero waste, not to promote wasting. I know there's challenges with money, but if you look at the whole situation, the amount of money that's saved by diverting things from the landfill, which I don't know how much it costs now to close and open a cell. It's probably like over $1 million. I'm not sure though. So the community has a deep, abiding love and respect for our center, which is in a town this size, perfect for multi-stream recycling. And so to throw these single stream bins with no idea of what they're supposed to be for is very confusing. And I will not leave my 2s or 5s or 1s or 5s there. I'm still saving them and sending them over to Grand Junction when someone's going. So I just, I know people kind of hate me over there, but I really wish there was a way we could work together, because this train of climate change is increasing exponentially. And if we don't put aside differences and try to work together to make things better, we're circling the drain even faster. So that's my thing. I'm exhausted because I woke up at 1:30 in the morning, worried so much about what's happening at the recycle center that I go there once or twice a day, every day since 2000, hauling stuff there for free. So I really care about it, and I hope, people can get over the fact that I can be obnoxious sometimes, but who can't be, right? So that's all, I guess. It's just, I'm having a hard time because I'm so tired, but I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. The collaboration can create change that might be more positive than what I've been seeing at the center. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Sarah.
Okay.
Hope you
And,
get
and
some
it
rest.
would be, can I say one more thing? It would really be great to have responses when the public writes in about, you can write back and say, yeah, we'll consider it, or no, go bark up a tree. But it's nice to feel like someone at least listened and heard what you were saying and then responded thoughtfully and considered, the suggestion. Okay, now I'm really leave. Bye.
Bye. There are no other citizens. So next up is approval of meeting minutes for May 17th and June 5th.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for May 17th, 2023 and June 5th, 2023.
Thank you, Kevin. Is there a second?
I'll second, but I have some comments about some things in the May minutes that later on we can talk about.
Well, are they, do you want to, are there corrections to be made?
Well, there seems not to have been, what's written under, can we just talk about it now? It's
The time.
well, it's under the discussion of composting. It's page 4, May minutes, old business. And I just wanted to clarify that I wasn't, are you guys still there? Oh yeah, I see what's happening. So under there, that's it, page 4. I see that I said, or it says that I said, there was room for improvement in SISWA grant writing. And what I think I was saying at the time is that I felt that it would be a good policy for SISWA to be able to involve its board when the grant writing process is ongoing, so that we might know a little bit about what's being considered for the grant and maybe have some input. And I'm not accusing SISWA of anything. I'm not thinking that they can do a better job at their grant writing, but I just think that when they're not involving their board in grant writing, then we don't know what's going on. And when I'm getting more and more out in the public with other entities in the community, like the sustainability with Moab and stuff, I mean, they could ask me questions about what we're, doing with regard to a grant, and I wouldn't have a clue. So I just think it would be a good thing to be abreast of those sorts of things. And that's basically what I was getting at with regard to the composting. That was because it came under the auspices of composting because that grant came through to me from Robeson at the Youth Garden Project. I didn't even know that this SISWA was involved in this grant. So, I just felt like I was a little bit out in the dark, and that it might be a good consideration to involve the board when we're doing grant writing through SISWA. I can't see why you wouldn't want to. So I just think that paragraph does not capture what I was saying, basically. And I'm not hearing any comment. I'm not hearing anybody. Did I get kicked off?
No, can you hear us, Diane?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So the minutes reflect what was said, even if it didn't reflect their intent. And so I will say that I share your concern, but in a slightly different manner. And that is that I feel like maybe we need to do a better job of strategic planning so that then grant writing efforts flow from that. And they're not a surprise. Even if we agree with what they're supporting, they are reflective of the process that we've participated in.
Well, that's a whole different ballgame, but yeah, that'd be really nice.
Because because then we're approaching it from the big picture and then narrowing in, as opposed to like budding opportunity, and then that way staff is supported in like pursuing things as opposed to us having to like intercede at a more granular level of their work. If we've already signed off on the sort of the big picture direction. So, so do you feel like the minutes inaccurately reflect what
Yeah, well, the minutes say that I said that there was room for improvement with SISWA grant writing. And, I think that I don't know if there's room for improvement. I guess I just specifically wanted SISWA to know that me as a board member felt that their improvement would be specifically that we be involved with, and if indeed it involves the strategic planning, long-term planning, that would be great. So that when the grant writing comes about, then we're involved in that discussion so that any information that we might be able to share or learn from would happen during that process. And indeed, the bubble, I think that when SISWA, and it says here that SISWA involved the staff within SISWA, but that to me is a bubble. And you've got a board out here, and we could maybe assist. I mean, I'm thinking that's why I'm here, assist when things like this come about. And I just thought that it would be a good thing to bring that forward. I don't mean to say that you're not doing a good job. I don't think that's true. I think you're doing an okay job. I just don't feel a part of it as a board member. Couldn't answer any question to anyone in the community that asked me about that particular EPA grant and what were we applying for. Couldn't begin to answer any question about that. And I would feel really, really remiss to whoever would be asking that question of me, because I wouldn't have a clue. I don't want to go forward like that anymore. I don't want to feel like that. I want to be a part of this organization or not, I guess.
So it seems like this is a bigger conversation than that sentence.
Can't understand you. I can't hear you.
Kaylin said it
Are there
seems
any
like.
settings on the owl that can be adjusted?
I've turned
See, I
up-
can hear you when you come up close to the owl, Kaylin, but not sitting back in your chair. So I think it's just the amount of space between. I don't know.
Okay, so Diane, this is a bigger issue. It seems like you're concerned about one sentence in the minutes. And maybe it's because it was a little critical of staff in the way that you didn't intend it to be.
Can't understand you, Kaylin.
Diane, deal with that sentence struck in the minutes. Diane, deal with that sentence struck in the minutes.
Can't understand you.
Geez, that.
Wow.
Heck, man.
Oh,
Make sure they're pampered.
Nick, are you understanding them?
It sounds really kind of bobbled or
Metallic.
yeah.
It was like before. We've been here before, you guys. So whatever you did before, we had this problem before one time.
I'm not sure if it's a distance from the mic to the person speaking or what, but
Yeah. But see, Nick, I can hear you quite well, so it is in that room.
Okay.
Test,
Kaylin.
test. Can you hear us now?
Yeah, it sounds good right there.
Kaylin, try.
So just hold that pose.
Jessica is fiddling with the settings.
Can you hear me?
How's
Yeah.
Kate?
Sounds like it's not working.
Because it's not a speaker issue, it's the microphone.
Hello?
Test.
Hello. I can hear you.
I'm not quite sure.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right.
I don't know.
Okay, so Diane, we can't insert everything that you said in the minutes because you didn't say it last time, but would you like that sentence struck? Because it didn't really reflect your intention.
I don't know if I can't understand you yet, Kaylin. It's not clear enough. You're asking me a question, but I didn't quite hear it.
Okay, so I wonder if this owl is defective.
You gotta wonder because we're not
I wonder
doing
if this
anything
owl has
different.
special abilities that we're not appreciating.
I think so.
Diane, can you hear us?
Yes.
Would you like that one sentence stricken from the record since it didn't really reflect your intentions?
That would be fine. I just think that, yeah, that'd be fine. The one that says that room for improvement for SISWA grant writing, is that what we're talking about?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, that can go away, but that's not there's more than just that, basically, it just, you heard what I just said, and that's what I wanted to convey. See, now I can't hear you. You're going out now.
How about now, Diane?
Barely.
The minutes can't reflect something you didn't say at the time. So we can't go back and add to the minutes. We can't strike that sentence. I have a suggestion. Going forward, the staff brings an executive summary. to the
I can't understand you, Mike. Can't understand. I can't hear you. Something's wrong.
Yeah, I'm not sure what changes between. Sometimes it's really clear and then sometimes it's just really muted. But it doesn't look like they're changing positions that much, so I'm not sure what's.
They must be up to something because they become incognito.
Yeah, maybe it's the old trick of unplugging it and plugging it back in.
One way of getting rid of it.
Usually works wonders on some stuff. Nope.
It's good.
Here I Okay, we should be showing as, yeah, our volume is working. So I'm not quite sure what's going on.
So I'm hearing Jessica right now very well, very clear. And it can be like that and then it cannot be like that. So let's continue and see if you guys, did you do something and made it better? But I just now could hear Jessica just fine.
Can you hear me now?
Well, you're starting to sound like you're metallic and kind of down in a hole.
That's intentional.
Would it be helpful if you stopped your camera? Maybe that's causing some sort of disconnect or buffering on your end. I don't know. I know sometimes that happens with me when I've got my Zoom going and my camera's going. My sound goes bad. But the moment I turn my camera off, I hear a lot better.
Okay, well, I can still hear you quite well. You're consistent.
Okay.
I don't know if it's picking up sound somewhere right here a lot clearer. I don't know.
So Mike, what were you saying? Continue with what you were proposing. I think you were in the middle of something.
Righty, great. Yeah, I was gonna, I said we can definitely strike that sentence, but we can't add anything based on your intentions. But I can make a suggestion going forward. Anytime the staff wants to apply for a grant, we bring an executive summary to the board explaining what it is before we do any work, and basically get approval from the board to apply for the grant. And that way the board knows about it from day one.
That sounds great. It just won't be in writing. I mean, this agreement, this understanding will not be in writing, but that's okay. But I just.
The executive summary is just like when we bring something to the board for approval.
Yes.
So it would be in writing. It would be a page synopsis, basically.
That would be great. I would feel more, I just would feel, I would feel more informed about what's going on. I mean, money's important. And when we were applying for these $1 million grants, it seems like I'd like to know a little bit about what we're applying for, what we think we need to do with $1 million plus.
So back to the motion. I made a motion and you seconded that we approve the minutes. By striking that sentence, can we approve the minutes? Diane?
Oh, yes, by me, sure.
Okay, vote on it.
Okay, so there's a motion an amended motion to approve the minutes, but striking that sentence from the
May.
May 17th minutes. Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Next up is review and approval of expenditures for the month of May 2023. So motion.
Let's see, I will make a motion to approve the expenditures in the month of May 2023 in the amount of $368,961.20.
I second.
Diane? Anything staff wants to tell us about it? Any questions from the board? Start with staff. Yeah.
Just wanted to reiterate what was in the packet. Payroll total expenses for April were $258,628.30. This includes benefits. Our total repairs for the month of May were $10,261.51. We made a payment to AMCS for our project management of $12,000. We also made the 980 wheel loader lease payment for $29,521.47. And then also another large payment was $8,330 to Kurt's Custom Welding for two different invoices. One was for repairs to older containers, and then another one, about $6,000 or so, was for new containers. Our total fuel for May was $17,107.73, down again a little bit from the previous month.
Excellent. Any questions? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Discussion of Mountain America options for accounts.
So first, Mike, Mary, and I went to Mountain America to meet with the new district or branch manager. And then Nick and I had a meeting with him, and we went over some of the items and options for us if we were to decide to move all of our accounts, or most of the majority of our accounts, over to Mountain America. We were wondering if it would save us any money. One of the hurdles for that was we were already set up to do remote deposit through Zions. So one of my questions was how easy it would be to do remote deposit through Mountain America. They also talked about us being able to do like more ACH payments. They have this thing called ACH positive pay, and then a check positive pay. So instead of actually writing checks, those three things actually I have more concerns about, just because we would have to actually rewrite our bylaws, because right now it states that we have to have 2 board members sign the checks. And while I do know that we do some ACH payments on some utilities, if we're doing everything through ACH, we'd have to rewrite everything. But eventually it would save us money if we were to do that.
Money and time.
Money and time.
Definitely.
And then, of course, if we were to get a business visa through Mountain America, one of the advantages to that is it's a 1.5% cashback, and fuel earns 2% cashback. And I just did find out Relodyne that we could use the credit card to pay for fuel, but unfortunately there was a 3% fee, so we would be losing 1% were to do that. But and then Nick, did you have anything that you wanted to add about any of that when we discussed it with Sam?
Yeah, I think some of these items on here would be beneficial from again, from what you said, a cost standpoint, the actual cost of checks and whatnot. But with your point about revising the bylaws, does the bylaws specifically say that each individual check has to be dual signatures? Because I didn't know if the ACH, if the list of ACH payments could be signed off by 2 board members, if that would suffice to cover that requirement.
Well, they do sign off on it on the checklist. So right. There's like an invoice that we then sign off. We have the board members sign off on. So that could be a workaround. So that wouldn't save necessarily any extra time, or not a whole lot of paper, because I'm still printing those invoices, but it would be less checks that we would print out. And so one less thing in that respect.
And so how the ACH works for the board, you enter it, it's a 1-day delay. So if you had a batch of stuff you're going to put in today, it would hit the recipient's bank accounts tomorrow. So it's not an immediate thing. There's a little bit of time factor, but it does reduce the time. It reduces the float actually of a check going out. It gets mailed out. Generally have a few days of float before the customer gets it cash or deposits it. And so the ACH does speed up the vendor payment process from their standpoint and ours.
But you said that we were already doing ACH for like our electric bills or some other, didn't you say we were doing some already that way?
Yeah.
Well, we push some of those out where we go onto a site and process a payment Whereas this would be, again, it would be pushing it out just in a more massive or mass scale, depending on the list of vendors needing to be paid. Kind of a one-stop shop. So say you got 20 vendors that need to be paid, you'd enter them in the ACH on the bank's website, and they'd all go out at the same time.
And it's a little bit different because the ACH payments that we have right now are coming from the vendors themselves. So we've given them our account information and their regular payments. They don't change in dollar amount very much each month. So those are the kinds of ACH payments that we have right now.
Interesting about your voice. LJ, you were very, very clear up until that last thought, and you now are metallic and down in a hole. So I don't know, it's something going on there that changes. Isn't that amazing?
I'll have to check with Al.
See, now you're back. Now you're
clear.
back out of the hole, but you had been clear and then you're not. So weird.
Strange, very strange. Yeah, the bylaws definitely say 2 people have to sign checks, drafts, notes, orders of payment. Orders of payment,
That's considered the ACH, right?
I mean,
Yeah.
that's approving an order of payment. I'm no lawyer, but that's the way I interpret it.
There are 2 of us reviewing them all the time.
So aren't our bylaws needing updating? Well, I'm just trying to weigh out if there is a benefit to whatever this is that you guys are looking at. Why are we avoiding one thing that's holding us back? I'm just trying to analyze it.
I don't know that we're avoiding it. That's why we're bringing it up, is to discuss the options that we have with Mountain America.
Well, but avoiding is the wrong word then. What I guess we're just, we have one problem, the bylaws, and I think we should I'm just suggesting that maybe we should consider that could be changed and it wouldn't be a challenge.
Well, it sounds like there was an opinion that they don't need to be changed.
That's an order of, what'd you say it was, Michael?
Order of payment.
Order of payment. Yeah, Diane, we're basically bringing this to the board and discussing it. This is some of the low hanging fruit that I think's out there. Anything to help lighten LJ's load and to speed the process. And if we save a few $100 a year, bonus.
Well, I want to be clear. I'm in favor of this. I just, think we should work towards that.
I thought this part was just a discussion as to where, so we certainly can do a motion, but it's not in the agenda of motion as such.
The meter issue before the board is approval to transfer the 25.
That's the different issue.
We're just on D, right? Discussion of Mountain America options.
We're on D.
But one thing, utilizing the business visa, could be an immediate impact. That 1% back.
1.5% cash back.
Yeah. 1.5. That might. I can't remember if the fuel, when they said fuel, was that actually at the pump or was it bulk deliveries? I think it was at the pump.
Yeah, it was at the pump, but LJ did go to the vendor and see if we could pay for it.
Oh, that's right. The 3%. So it's actually upside down that that way.
Proves at this point it doesn't help.
So there are several hoops that we have to go through. I'm not sure exactly what those are yet in order to set up for the ACH payments and to obtain a business visa at Mountain America. So this mainly was a discussion to see if the board would like us to move forward, and then I can come to the next board meeting what those steps are, and we can do an approval.
Move forward.
I agree.
Modernize.
I'll make a motion. I would make a motion to approve transferring the current balance from the Mountain America savings account of $25,520.17 into the new money market account.
Thank you, Kevin. Is there a second?
I'll second. But I can't hear Kaylin. Can't hear you.
Or LJ, would you have anything else to say on this topic?
There's not really much else to say because, I mean, we're gonna get a higher interest rate. It's a simple transfer I can do online. I just wasn't comfortable doing it without the approval of the board, even though Mary had been involved in that whole immediate process to set up the money market account, so.
Okay. I'll call for the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Discussion and approval of purchase of new loader.
That's you, Chris.
Um,
I know.
so definitely not the time to be trying to purchase new equipment. I don't know if you guys went over the agenda item summary. Gotta remember the background. It was last year, we had a breakdown. There was a huge lack of inventory and heavy equipment. We got lucky. We were able to get a piece of equipment. It didn't really work for us. We jumbled stuff around. That lease is up. We're paying a little bit more for it now with that lease being up. We have, during that time, we were kind of pricing out, and that's what we're here to decide. We've priced out a loader that would be specifically utilized for the transfer station. I guess some of the things are under, I've listed under the useful information, is that it's going to be a little bit cheaper than what we're paying for now. So before the rental went out, the rental was cheaper, but now that we're paying different terms for it since the rental's up. And honestly, now it comes to, they can take this loader away from us at any time because this was a rental between Wheeler and not CAT. If you remember in some of our discussions with heavy equipment, the Wheeler Corporation is different from the CAT Corporation. They're just the local distributor for it. So we have the potential of losing that piece of equipment until we either move to secure a lease with that new one, which doesn't make sense because it doesn't work for us. And when we did if you'll remember, when we did the tour out at the transfer station, you had even brought up the fact about our equipment and is that the right equipment for it? No, that's not the equipment we have out there isn't the right equipment. This would be more designed to utilize in the transfer station as far as loading trucks. So it won't fully replace, but it'll kind of replace another aging piece of equipment that we have going on there, hopefully extending the life of that equipment. The other big issue that we're having right now, so if you remember, we saved $30,000 by moving this 962 down here. We tried it out for a while and it's really proven to be too big for the building. It's a huge safety because of the size and the design of it. It had the blind spots behind it, and a majority of the movement of that machine in that building is backing up. You're basically going forward and back, and we've had multiple opportunities. In fact, if it was running right now, we could run to the window and watch, and you'd be like, "Ooh, yeah, that is dangerous." So it fixes a safety issue. I think that was everything that I had listed. It was kind of the highlights. I mean, I tried to list it out here so I didn't have to drag this on because I know how much everyone likes to talk about heavy equipment, not as much as I do. But if So if you want me to go on, I will, or if there's
No,
any
I'm-
specific questions that you guys
I'm
want
convinced.
answered, I mean, I'd be happy to answer questions, but
I have a couple questions, Chris. Chris, for the 938 MCAT, it seems like I read that it's hopeful that it will do what, like, I think load those trailers. What does hopeful, first question, what does hopeful mean there? And second question is, what would we anticipate the lifespan of, I am assuming this is a piece of new equipment. If we keep it in the transfer station and use it as intended here, what might be the lifespan of that piece of equipment?
okay, hopeful means, as far as anything operational, everything is labeled hopeful until you put into a practical application and you see all the consequences of that. So I didn't want to come to the board and say this was 100% because until you actually do it, nothing is 100%. It's just like when architects or engineers design on a piece of paper, there is a translation into reality. So that's why hopeful is there. For all intents and purposes, this will do it. This is designed. This is exactly what this machine is designed to do, is to load MSW into the back of a transfer trailer. So does that answer your question on the hopeful?
Yes, thank you.
And the life of the machine is between 10,000 and 15,000 hours, depending on your maintenance schedule. We use the machine, a good estimate's between 1,000 and 1,500 hours a year. So it will last between 7.5 to 10 years.
Wow, not nearly as long as I was hoping.
That probably goes for a lot of equipment that we have. And working with Nick to produce a list of equipment so that we can all kind of get on page with reality and how long this equipment is going to last, and our replacement schedules and things like that. Because yeah, it's not always a happy story.
Okay, thanks.
Could it last longer? It's possible, but that really 7 to 10 years is, the industry standard, where you avoid getting into problems where it's constantly breaking down. It's just a fact.
Yeah, and this piece of equipment, and we have like another example of a specialized piece of equipment would be our compactor out of Klondike. So there are certain pieces of equipment that we purchase and we want to get rid of while it still has some equity and some life into it, so that we have some equity to trade off for a new piece of equipment. This piece of equipment is pretty specialized. So we would probably the intent would be to purchase this equipment and run it until it was no longer functioning. Just kind of a one thing, just because I can't help myself. So like the importance of this piece of equipment is like everywhere throughout the district, if a piece of equipment fails, we kind of have fail safes in place. We have backups in place. If the transfer station piece of equipment, and this is why we went ahead last year, fails at the wrong time of day, we last about 6 hours until we have trash going outside the building and no way to contain it. So sorry, I just
No, that's a good point. Actually, this past month, we
have experienced it.
we lost the loader that we're replacing, or actually the one we're moving.
Yeah.
We lost it for a couple of weeks, and we tried to get by with the what is it, 1985?
Yes.
It died within a matter of hours, and then we tried the one that's even older, and
Backup.
our backup to our backup, and they both needed work within 48 hours. So we did try to see if we could get by, because I was hoping we would turn this in as a way to tighten the belt, but we still have to function.
Okay, Diana, did you have another question?
No, I don't have any more questions. Thank you.
I'll make a motion
Okay,
to approve the purchase of the 938 M Cat front end loader with the wonderful trash package in the amount not to exceed $275,000, and authorize district staff to sign and enter into all agreements associated with this purchase.
thank you, Kevin.
I'll
Is there a
second. I lost you, Kevin. I can't hear a word anyone saying, but I did second that motion. And if that's all I need to know.
Yeah, why didn't we pay for? LJ was trying to take some of what's left in the bond and try to throw it at the principals to lower payments and purchase of the two trucks. I'm not sure the exact balance. That's the end of it. I didn't realize. We're getting close. Okay, I have no further questions.
Just to note that per this, the documents are in there. It looks like if there were to ends up being that as it's listed there, it'd be about an additional $3,600 a month set aside to cover that annual payment of essentially 36,000. So just to inform the board, it would about $3,600 a month set aside to build up the money to pay that each annual period.
But we would be renting the machine anyway to make it work.
Yeah, we will. We're currently paying that.
Yes.
And it's changed a little bit. The details of which haven't quite hit the district yet. Wheeler's been working with us. They know that after a year, basically the terms have changed, but they're allowing us to kind of go through the formalities of trying to get something new before we kind of work out the details. And I mean, I think I did list what the cost, the estimated cost was about $35.83, I think. Right now with Nick is what we're tentatively going to be paying for the current loader that we have.
Right.
So, and then if he's saying that we're about $3,600, it's pretty close. We're pretty close.
Yeah. Instead of that amount going directly to the vendor, we'd be setting it aside, and when that annual payment comes up, then we would push it out to the vendor.
And then just like they're willing to set this up as however we would like.
Okay.
In the past, that was the way I was told to try to initially set these deals up.
Right.
Annually or biannually, so we can really set this up however makes sense.
Okay.
And one thing you did mention is that they could actually recall or call back the one that we're renting, because we only had it for a year lease.
Yeah.
And so go into this purchase with them, we're going to be spending the money anyway, so let's go into the purchase with it. So, yeah. Very good.
Yeah, so it's essentially ours to do what we with, or like to do with it.
It's updated, it's got the claw on it, so it's smaller, it's safer.
Yeah, it sounds like a much better machine.
Okay.
The other thing, actually,
Hopefully.
since we're talking about it, is another issue that we have is we're overloading trucks.
Yeah.
This is actually will come with a scale on board, so they'll be able to set a limit for the truck, and then as they load it, they won't, it'll be pretty easy to get that program preset. So They just hit a start button. As soon as they hit the limit, it'll set a warning light on to say stop loading.
Nice.
So
that's a great feature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I say, wonderful trash,
yeah, well, it is. It's specifically designed for its task. So,
Chris, another question comes to mind. Will it be also used to load the single stream out there at the transfer station? Okay. I can't hear you, but I see your head, Mike.
All right. Seeing no more discussion, I will call for the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion passes 3-0.
Skip that, baby.
All right. Staff reports, Mike.
Alrighty. When I drafted up the report this month, I started with, overall, it was a good month. That was before this morning, I'll be honest with you. Today was pretty ugly, especially the first half. But this business is very much feast or famine, up and down. I hope we see a few more ups in the coming month. Let me put it that way. But overall, pretty good. A big win, victory for us was the new truck arrived. So that's a major step in the right direction. And Kenyon certainly enjoys the air conditioner, to say the least. We are having some issues with it. It's standard. New trucks the settings all aren't quite there. The people that put them together don't operate them day in and day out. So at the moment, Levi's dealing with the dealer to try and get something corrected on it already, which is frustrating, but it is kind of standard. New garbage trucks have some issues the first couple of weeks, so you got to work out the bugs.
Is it functional? Is it functional? Does it pick up garbage?
It has. It has been on the street 3 or 4 days.
Okay.
And mentioning that now, it'll be in the parade on the 4th of July. So you'll be seeing it out on the street. It's got a new decal on it. It looks good. Like I said, it was a nice victory. Second truck, the smaller one, should be getting to the dealer up in Salt Lake City, hopefully this week, if not right after the 4th. They're having trouble finding drivers to bring it to us tomorrow. It'll be decal. Exactly. We've got someone up there at the dealer, Jessica and Levi, between the two of them, got the decal design, and that way it gets shipped to us ready to go. We're getting 2 new trucks. There's a truck up in Salt Lake City being worked on. We're going to have that one decal, and we've got to figure out a way to get a new trailer. One we purchased a couple months ago, decal. That's really good. That truck made its first voyage up to the commodity dealer this past week. So we're getting our money's worth out. So that's great. We'll probably make another trip next week, or at least that's our plan. Drivers. We had another one. We lost one this week. We lost another one this morning. What can I say? It is a turnover industry. To be honest, we are, as of today, we count the one employee that's off on workers' comp. We're 3 people short of where I like to be this time of year. So that makes it difficult. Makes it long hours. Combine that with trucks being down. To be honest, our overtime is too high. It's an uphill battle at this point, but we're going to keep fighting it. But we've had ads running. LJ's actually Brandon, some of the drivers are coming up with ideas to try and get things on the radio, different things. It's tough. It's that time of year. It's the hottest time of year. It doesn't help. We are getting by. We've got some vacations after the 4th. They're going to make it a little more complicated. I am not going to swear on a stack of Bibles that will be able to bring our overtime down anytime. But we're trying. Part of that, trying to get that down, is doing some rerouting. The closer we get to ANCS, being fully implemented, the more that will help. I think LJ will talk about that. It's a slow process, but it is picking up, and it's going to help. Chris got some maps for the county. Ron is now mapping out the service areas for us. I'll be honest, even though I've been here going on 5 months, I still need to see where the pieces are all at on a daily basis. That calls for mapping. We've got some ideas we'll just discuss this week about moving stuff around. I don't want to talk about it until it's more than just an idea. The RFP is in legal. The RFP for the financial analysts. Our legal made some updates. Their legal is reviewing it. We put the 2 legal teams together. We're this close, and then it'll come to Caleb for signature. new RFP for the actual financial advisor that legally advises on long-term financial plan. It's posted. It went to the legal department, got reviewed. It is out there, and I believe it's July 10th is the answer to questions, and then the 17th is the final. Both of those went through the Utah Secure Placement process. They were completely covered on our procurement aspects, and that's moving forward. Not as fast as we can possibly ask at this point. I finally got the tire removal and recycling pilot Moab landfill formally submitted to EQ this past week. So we're waiting for approval. And when that is approved, we'll schedule the cleanup with Liberty Tire. We're guessing August probably, which is probably the worst time of year to do that, but it is what it is. And we're estimating this removal of over 44,000 tires, 485 tons, at a cost of over $135,000. Thankfully, the EQ will be paying for this. We do not even have to cut the check ourselves. We're going to cut it directly to Liberty Tire. So that's a big win that's been weighing on us. Because that pile just keeps getting bigger. Love looking at it. So that'll be moving forward the next month, 6 weeks. The Moab fire really brought something to me as far as our radio system is like. I knew it was, but it's expensive. We don't want to spend the money now. We know it's not a good time, but it is something we got to look at. And I feel like we have to spend. It would connect us to Klondike. That scares me when we have 2 or 3 people out there, and the only way to reach them is by cell phone. In a perfect world, we'd be able to pick up the radio and tell everybody, stop what you're doing right now, regardless of the situation, whether it's the landfill or the road. We don't have it. We do communicate through phones, but that isn't that instantaneous safety aspect, and it's coming compared to now. Do what I just said. So we've got 2 proposals we're reviewing. Chris has done a lot of work with this, and we'll probably be bringing that to the board next month. At the fire, we could not talk to Mike while he was pushing the plan. It was not a good feeling to sit there and watch. And that really brought. I've been trying to put it off, but we really need an updated system that can cover the area better. We're still not going to cover the whole area, but major improvement. And we will be able to reach all the landfills in one. So look for that next month. 15,000 do the proposal. Basically, that would be part of what's left.
Yeah, we're not able to hear you. Some reason it's going in and out really bad right for the last few minutes.
Try to replace.
Yeah,
I can't get much closer.
yeah, that's perfect right there. So I don't know.
Nobody move. Okay.
Yeah.
Sarah mentioned some CRC updates at the recycle center. This is all less than a week. I think we started last Thursday, I believe. When we discussed it and we said, let's do this, it happened a lot faster than I thought, but that's a good thing in a lot of ways. What we've done is we've added a super sack for number 5 plastics, polypropylene, yogurt cups, Tupperware. Turns out a lot of the lids are polypropylene. That's something I learned this week. There is a value in polypropylene. Has been for just a couple of years. It's become a stable market where it's always going to have a little value now. It's going to take us forever to make a bale, but because most of those items are pretty small and light, obviously, but it's something we're adding. At
So
the
that's number 5.
number 5s, yes. So far it's been 1s, 2s, and is that it? Yeah,
I
just the
think
1s and
so.
2s.
1, 2s, 2s and a halves.
So,
What,
so
what primarily makes up a number 5? Is it lids or is it?
Wait, can't hear you. You went away, Mike. What is it primarily? Number 5s are lids and what?
Yogurt cups,
Oh,
containers, some Tupperware type things. A lot of takeout plastics are number 5.
Wow.
And what was that?
I
that's
say, wow.
plastic, vegetable and flower pots are sometimes number 5. Not always, but sometimes.
It's not the plastic clamshell.
No, a lot of those are number 1. At that same time, and Chris and Jessica had been having the same thought, but I've been up there a couple of times when people from out of town brought everything. And they'd have their stuff that they normally at their house that they could put in single stream. The other plastics, tin foil, pot pie containers, that type of stuff. So we've added 2 carts for the three carts. I'm sorry. I was there yesterday. I thought it was just 2. Okay. So we've added 3 carts for those additional items. It's the equivalent of single stream, but we're just taking those items, the leftovers, because when those people came, they either had to just throw it in, but they shouldn't put it in, take it back, or find a dumpster. So we said, we've got an outlet for this. We can have the truck swing by and pick it up once a week. And it turns out it's filled up inside a week, which probably not surprise me. But it's already getting used. So that are the 2 updates that the CRC Sarah was referring to.
So are these 3, Mike, are these 3 bins somewhere around the city or are they all up at the CRC?
They are at the CRC.
So what truck, oh, the truck will swing by the CRC and pick them up. Oh,
Yeah. Same truck that picks up homes, because it's just like it's a cart.
okay.
So those are the updates there. It's additional materials. More items that
It also cleans up the stream because we're always picking it out, the number 2 colors.
exactly. A lot of those materials get put in the wrong super sacks now, so they've got an outlet. I think it's a step in the right direction. We talked about it for a little while because change is slow here. Sometimes it takes a little bit, but we went ahead and went for it.
It's not going to be in the single stream though. You can't, you've not included number 5 in the single stream.
When you say the single stream, right now, yes, somebody in Moab or in the county can put number 5s in their single stream.
How are we going to advertise that to the single stream people?
Well, it sounds like we need to do a better job because it already is. It's single stream, and number 5s are part of our pickup. If we need to do a better job and maybe re-advertise or, get it out there a little bit better.
Yeah,
But
well, it's brand new, so it's expected that you would have to have some sort of a campaign.
new at the CRC, we've never had it as a drop-off item.
Mhm.
It's single stream.
Yeah. In the single stream.
Yeah. So, I mean, we added a super sack and we're adding new signage. Jessica's updating all the signage at the CRC. Some of them are aged and hand painted and whatnot, and we're just updating them a little bit. And we added a super sack and we added an additional metal corral so that they can pick them up.
Cool.
I feel like I've been talking for an hour here. One thing on my list was the BLM contract. This was a good thing. It was time for a renewal, an extension, whatever you want to call it. We had to bid on it again. There was a delay. The contract was 2 years and it actually ended before June. But just this past week, they gave us the green light and we've got a 5-year extension on the BLM trash pickup. So
Right.
that's a good thing. You may not know it, but a majority of our enclosed containers that our roll-offs deliver are strictly for BLM. That's where they're used because they require lids and locking mechanisms. The average roll-off, construction or whatever doesn't need it to be enclosed. But because of the remoteness, they worry about animals and et cetera, bears. But that was a big one that was weighing on us. Nick and LJ and myself and Chris too went through the numbers several times. They sent them back to us. So we had to not negotiate, but we had to submit a new bid. Again, a little frustrating, but I'm glad it's done. And that's a large amount of revenue. So that's good.
Congratulations.
And that is all for me, unless anyone has any questions.
So I missed all of that conversation, Mike, about communication when you had the fire. What I pieced together was you're not happy with the lack of communication with your staff in an emergency like that. So what is there, you're going to be strategizing, I'm sure. I'm not a tech person. Every one of you know that, but a friend of mine who knows that I don't have cell service out here turned me on to an app called, I think it's WhatsApp. And you don't have to have connection. You just have to download the app. I just finished a book about an elephant preserve in South Africa that uses this app with their rangers and people that carry guns to protect their animals. And I was shocked that it was the same app. It's like a buddy. You have to be, everybody that's involved in it has to download the app. And then you can call them just like on just a cell phone call. And it's kind of like a buddy situation. I don't know if that would work.
Several people here are looking at their phones and they're aware of what you're talking about. I don't know much about that. The big thing would be whether you can talk to them all at once or not. Oops, excuse me. So I find that out, but I appreciate the input. We'll definitely see what the possibilities are.
Well, I would be delighted if I could enlighten somebody about something like that.
Leading the way in IT. But I don't know anything about it, but at least 2 people in this room already have it.
Okay.
Pardon me for eating a pretzel. I'm sorry. Okay, Chris. I don't have a whole lot. Just be real quick. It's time for quarterly inspections. So we're doing some preliminary walkthroughs and stuff. All the landfills are looking pretty good. Just to kind of touch on a couple of things that Mike brought up, like the fire did bring to light that our techniques up there are working. This fire could have been huge. I mean, we know that our landfill is on top of a dump, and so there was a potential for quite the disaster to go on there. But because we do our techniques correct, the fire was limited to just the working phase. The working phase was 100% consumed. I mean, the whole thing was on fire. So there was definitely potential for that to start to go underground and horrible things happen. But because we do our, the things that we're supposed to do, it was just contained to just the working phase. I should publicly thank the fire department. Yes. Like, yeah, they were actually, they showed up there, they worked with us. I mean, it was a good collaboration. Always room for improvement when it comes to things like that. And unfortunately, it's the crises that bring these things to light. We definitely need to, probably
probably do some drills or something more often rather than, try to make sure that things are working. They did work and they worked excellent, but
I should include the county public works as well. Their water truck was a big help.
Yeah, we had our commodity trailer. I'm excited. We've made its maiden voyage, like Mike had said, and I'm excited for the future that brings us. It gives us control over our commodities. And just through the use of that trailer, we can optimize some of the value of our commodities rather than just being, Bo and Pro Recycling Group, IWB have been an excellent partner, but our relationship with them is limited because of our location and the way that we're delivering our commodities to them. We've got the 4th of July coming up, and that's always fun and exciting because they like to light fireworks over the top of our giant mulch pile and green waste. It's just brilliant to put that right there. But Bill Jackson has already stopped by, and once again this year, the county road department is going to let us use their water truck. So,
And Chris is going to do a lot of that work himself. So, much appreciated. He's had a long.
and that's all I have.
Okay, any questions for Chris? Thanks. LJ.
I just have a couple things while we're talking about the 4th. The facilities will be closed on Tuesday, but we will have regular collections. So none of the offices, the landfills, or the transfer station will be open on Tuesday. I just completed or submitted the workman's comp audit for this year. I'm just waiting to hear back from them on the results of that. We had a change with doing bulk mailing at the post office. They finally went digital, which is nice, a little bit more complicated though. They still will only take cash, or we have to put money into an account that I had to set up separately, that then the post office draws that money out of. So then I have to transfer money from our account into the special post office account, print off reports off of their website, then deliver everything to the post office. But I think it'll streamline everything and make it a lot easier. And then I don't have to run around trying to get somebody to either get cash from the bank or write a check for bulk payment. So that's the good thing on that. Then the big updates are with AMCS. Savannah's been working triple time on trying to get the information into the Excel spreadsheet in order to create the database for the new software. There's been several different hookups on that, or hiccups on that. One of the big things is that the database that we got from TerraTrash was corrupt. And so it had mismatched information. So it was then accidentally put into the at first into the spreadsheet wrong. But then when she was going through reviewing everything, she caught it. And so she was able to make those corrections. Thank goodness, because that would have been a huge headache. And then, but we're almost there. She's so close. I think she can send it off to them either this afternoon or first thing tomorrow morning. So that'll be a good thing. And then we can start moving forward with that. They'll start working on our database, and then we can start working on it ourselves and getting used to it and putting in information, any updated information as we get it.
That if they don't realize it, a lot of that is manual, where she is in front of a spreadsheet. She's found several things that it's going to save us so much time after. I know it seems like we've been talking about AMCS for, well, since I've been here.
Over a year.
Yeah. But it's just critical that that data is in the right fields and in the right information goes in cleanly. I just can't emphasize it enough. So it is mind numbing, and it was overwhelming for her at first. And it's so intricate. You know, we couldn't really bring in a temp, because by the time you explain it to them, they would not have caught some of these errors she got, because they wouldn't have known to look for it. So But like she said, we're picking up steam, which is fantastic.
Well, and her knowledge base of our customer base is really been super helpful in her catching all those mistakes and misalignments and things like that. So,
Good.
and that's it for me.
All right, thanks. Any questions for LJ? All right, Jessica.
All right, I've got a couple of things. So Mike, Chris, and I attended the WAG Bag meeting again this, I want to say past month. And we were able to kind of give them an idea of just how big of a deal this is and what it truly costs us, and try to really put a reality sticker on the whole situation. But all these entities continue to work collaboratively. We have decided to do a WAG bag bin remodel because all of our current existing WAG bag bins are just honestly falling apart. So the first one that we've done is weighs in at a whopping 146 pounds and is made almost exclusively from reclaimed material from the Moab landfill and the CRC.
Nice.
And will feature a very gorgeous mural on the front, which we hope will subtly keep people from abusing these bins, and will maybe treat them with a little bit more respect. So that conception bin hopefully will be going out within the next week, which I just got to finish painting it. So an update on Swiffer, I already sent out, or excuse me, Swiffer is the EPA grant that was submitted. I sent out an update to all the board members and staff, but I wanted to just say this for the public. We have passed the threshold criteria, basically meaning that we fully qualify for the grant and that we have submitted everything that they required. Now we are on to the merit-based reviews, where basically they determine whether what we've submitted for the grant falls in line with the EPA's vision of the bigger picture of the bipartisan infrastructure law, the bill, I call it the bill. So we should know by late summer and whether we were awarded the grant, and if we are awarded the grant, we will receive funding in October of 2023. And it is a 3-year financial grant.
Wow.
And it was submitted for $1.8 million. Right now, I am drafting an organization-wide revisioning, because we didn't like rebranding. So as some of you all may have seen with our new truck, we do have a new updated logo. It's a little bit more streamlined, and felt it went more in line with what we're trying to turn. So the idea of this revisioning is basically updating everything with our new logo, expanding our social media presence, streamlining our social media presence, and also streamlining all of our signage to be consistent across the board at all facilities. So I'm working on drafting that up, and I will present it, and we can all work on it together and see if some of the ideas work and what don't. And also other ideas of updating our mission statement, because the one that we have right now feels a little clunky and a bit outdated considering when it was created. Right now, I'm also updating all of our charge account records. So we've been getting a lot of charge accounts recently, and we also consolidated all of our charge accounts. So because of that, all of our charge account lists at all of our facilities are outdated. And I'm working on getting all of those collectively, so every single facility, again, has the same amount of information. Been working with the Mark in their artist in residency program. They just awarded a new artist. Her name is Renee. She's based out of California, I believe. And we'll be doing a photography, videography, kind of faux crime podcast style piece. She'll be here in August, so we'll be starting on that. We've got several upcoming meetings. Another WAG Bag Council meeting where we kind of do another update, and then I'll be doing a tag along to a waste audit with Synergy Company, a sustainability plan with the city, brainstorming session, and a meeting with the school district superintendent with Mike. as Mike actually already touched upon, we will be debuting our brand new truck with our brand new logo at the 4th of July parade for the Grand County Fair. And last but not least, I sent out the June newsletter. We've had several more subscribers, so I'm quite pleased that the community is starting to pick up on the newsletter, and submitted a sustainable happenings article for Moab happenings.
Very good.
Great. Thank you.
I had a question on, so is the new wag bag container right outside the fence again, or where's it gonna be? Is it gonna be still on this location or?
It's,
Okay,
oh, you go.
the one that she built basically is
Yeah.
gonna be at the hub, is that what we call
It's the transit hub.
it? The transit hub,
Okay.
the one right there
Down
across from Lions Park.
It's one of the most
Yeah.
heavily
is.
used.
By
Yes.
far the heaviest used, yes.
Yes, that's where everybody stops after they come out of all different directions, so.
Yeah, so we figured that would be a very central focal point.
Perfect.
And because it is so sturdy, we don't have to worry about the bin potentially flipping over.
Yes,
It will protect it from sun damage, so it won't like degrade as quickly. And also because it is such a sturdy permanent structure, we'll be able to put more permanent signage on it.
nice.
So
nice.
that's kind of the idea with these, with the conceptual bins.
The being just, people know what it'll be labeled better, it'll look eye-catching, even though with what we're dealing with there, just a little more public respect for it, I'm hoping for, and it's gonna look really good when she's done.
You know, one thing that is kind of, there's all this stuff about flags. Can we get flags made with our logos?
Have
Because
never
sometimes-
looked into that.
Sure, you could, yeah.
Probably
Sometimes
could.
a garbage truck with flags on the top, on the sides, that, it's just a little bit more focused, a little bit more, more aware when you see them drive
Never
by.
looked at flags.
Yeah.
I will.
I mean, Utah's got a new flag. We might as well have one.
Everybody's rebranding. The
Yeah.
city rebranded, the county rebranded. If I say rebranded, got new logos.
Yeah, yeah. And that's a great logo, by the way.
Thank
I
you.
love that.
I
It's
tried to
really
stay
good.
consistent with those, so it kind of like put us on a more,
Yeah,
I tried to use a lot of psychology in this where people would be like association. If they see that and see
Yeah.
ours, they'll see kind of like it falls in line with the governmental palettes of
Yes.
color that we utilize.
very nice. Very nice.
Jessica, I have a question about, you mentioned something to do with the meeting with the superintendent of schools and wondering what that was about.
Mike.
Actually, yeah, really, we're just trying to set up communications better with the schools. It sounds like there's been some effort over the years, but it's time to try again. We tried to have that art contest and we really didn't have any participation. So that really kind of woke me up to our situation. And I just called up the superintendent's office and said, can we sit down and talk and see what we can do to work together? And Jessica's going to go with me. It's just a starting point, I guess, to hopefully ramp up the communication and hopefully, enhance any programs that might be going on.
Well, that's good to know because I think a couple of meetings back, I was expressing to SISWA that I was trying to figure out which school already had recycle programs, and I made the contact with the Grand County school something or other. I can't even remember who they were. They're an advisory committee to the schools, I think. Not where you're going. But anyway, basically I identified that there is only one school, the elementary school, HMK, that does not have any materials management, recycling, reduce. And I'm scheduled to go talk to Libby Bailey tomorrow about her feelings, how she, what she has envisioned for the school with regard to recycling. So just so that our left hand knows what our right hand is doing, sounds like these could be closely aligned, and I'll report back what I find. I'm going to be listening to what she envisions. I don't have a plan. I know that they don't, I've been told that they don't do anything with regard to recycling at this point. So it'll be interesting.
I would be lying if I didn't say some of your comments hit home, and I said, all right, we need to see what's going on. I went into the system, excuse me, our computer system, and we're showing containers, I think definitely for cardboard, but definitely, but also for single stream at all the 3 public schools. So that got me thinking that, okay, maybe there's containers out there and they're just not utilizing them. Teachers change years. And I just said, let's start at the top. That's what I've done in the past. If the superintendent wants to get a, recycling program going, it usually gets going.
Okay.
Who, I don't want to tie up the meeting real long, but is Libby Bailey a teacher at that school, or?
She's the assistant principal at HMK.
Which is where the superintendent used to be the principal, if I'm right. No?
She's not a superintendent, she's a principal.
Right, the HMK, isn't that the school that the superintendent used to be at? I'm wrong, never mind, ignore me. But okay, that's good to know. Let's talk what kind of feedback you get from that meeting.
Yeah.
Jessica, you mentioned your name.
Can't hear you, Jessica.
Jeremy Spalding, he's the community coordinator at the middle school, if I remember correctly. He was who I coordinated with when I presented on recycling for new homeowners.
I can't hear you. I can't understand you, but I heard Jeremy Spalding and I have talked to him. He's the one that referred me to Miss Bailey.
Okay.
And he said that they don't have anything going at that school at this time. So I don't know.
Okay, that's what we're gonna find out, what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this is a good segue into board reports. Diane, sounds like you've been busy. Do you have anything else?
Yes, I do. I was reaching out to them and someone reached out to me, believe it or not. Alexi Lamb is working on the sustainability for plan for Moab, and I guess she's decided that she wanted to put together a technical advisory council. So she asked me if I'd be interested in joining, and I said absolutely. So we're having our first meeting sometime in the middle of July. And I guess there's several categories. Before I even said yes, I looked at the categories and because I wondered what did they think that I was had technical advice that I could share. And one of them was materials management, which I've been told by Kaylin is the way to look at that the municipalities and most of us should be looking at recycling. It's not just recycling, but it's the whole gamut of reduce, reuse, and recycle. And I've got that concept, and that's what I'm hoping to talk with Libby about with her school with regard to where do they get started if they haven't already started.
Just thank you to the fire department for the quick response on the fire, and thanks for keeping us informed on that. The email was great. It was one of those things you gotta be on top of. Thanks for being on top of it.
Thanks. Yeah, the city's has hired a consultant to do the sustainability action plan. And so were you invited to be on the tech?
Yes, actually, that, what I felt, I just saw today with Diane's name is on there, and I'm gonna take Jessica along as well, in case I can get all the meetings, and just to get her involved in the community, part of the recycling.
Great. All right. Next up, we have business update on RFP for financial planning.
I think you kind of already did that in the board report.
I jumped ahead there on you.
Can't hear any of you.
Our next one is update on the RFP for financial planning, but I accidentally rolled that into my report.
that was included in the packet. We discussed it last board meeting, but it was suggested that we have it in the board packet for everybody to review, put it on the screen if people need to see it. But it has already been signed and submitted. Did anybody have any questions after looking at it, or Diane, do you need to put it on the screen for you?
No.
State fraud hotline, which instead of posting their own, you have to use that to get those. And that's what you get to do anyway. And this motion is usually, because it's likely employees.
Yeah, we're not able to hear.
Yeah, too bad.
I'm going to go do something much more fun than this. I can't hear either. And I mean, you know, I don't know why we can't get this fixed. But this is a waste of my time. Can't hear you, Kaylin.
Okay, Jessica, possible for you to chat with them?
Yes.
Okay, and we're going to chat with you. Would you please ask her to multitask, but to stay on so that we have a quorum till the end?
Okay, so we just need her to stay on until the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear, see, I can hear you, Kaylin, when you sit up and I guess, you know, convey to that owl, I can hear you. But when you when you sit back and relax like I'm doing, we can't hear you. And that goes with all of you. You know, it's that owl. It's just not going through the owl, I believe.
We are going to look into this because this is getting a little crazy.
Yeah, it's very ineffective.
It seems like it might be a bandwidth issue because it sometimes it's perfect and then it just fades out. So yeah, it just needs to be troubleshooted.
We can also try cutting our video from the owl and see if that helps. See if it's at our end. I realize it's unlikely, but
Well, what do we got?
Go ahead and try it.
But Diane, if you could stay on we've got one more item to go over and I think we'll be done. If we
That's
do.
fine. I'll stay on.
We do need a third for the forum, so thank you.
I just wanted to advise for future meetings, you know, it's really nice not to have to come into town, but I wouldn't do this again because I don't feel very effective.
Understood. Let's work on this.
so in any event, for next year, you can probably pick up that 20 points. At the city, it's just in the employee manual, but the city's also going to add it to our website in case.
Sounds like a bulletin board thing too, along with the other safety and required signage.
Okay, new RFP for health insurance.
Do you want me to?
Yeah, I thought I was gonna be in.
Oh, okay. We're looking for anywhere and everywhere to tighten the belt, so to speak, and some of it's low hanging fruit like the bank. Basically, we're formalizing an RFP to seek out other insurance. It's convoluted and it's a experience for me. I've never had to seek out this before, so it's a learning experience for me. But we are formulating an RFP. It's probably 85% done, and we'll do the same thing. We'll submit it to the Utah procurement place, run it by the lawyers, and we're just looking for, are there better programs? Are there equivalent programs that are cheaper? What's out there? That was LJ's idea, and I think it makes perfect sense. Would you like to add to that anything?
Well, yeah, just one of the things that we're looking to do, because we've had several employees that have come forward saying that they would like different options. And so that's one of the things we're looking to have multiple types of insurance available to the employees to choose from, rather than they just have one single type of insurance. Because some people who, like myself, I'm single, I don't have family or anything like that, I like having an HSA, but other people don't like having an HSA because they'd rather have less of a deductible and just things like that. So
HSA health savings account?
yes.
Okay, just making sure. Yeah, we're looking for more options, anything that might attract more and different employees.
Great. Well, that sounds like a good project. Any questions? All right, the next regularly scheduled meeting of the board is Wednesday, July 19th, but due to possible lack of quorum, that could be rescheduled, and
It
will.
It is rescheduled. We've got 3 guarantees that they'll be here. It's July 26th. I apologize. That's my fault.
Okay, which will also include a public hearing to discuss pricing for services and rate increases for e-waste, service rate increases for Freon containing items, locking bar service for containers, 40-yard container rates, wag bag rates, drive up and back door service rates. All right, so we reached the end of our agenda. And so if there are no objections, I will adjourn this meeting.
Kaylin, I'm able to hear you guys now, but I guess I misunderstood that the next meeting was going to be July the 19th. Is that correct?
No, it's not. I was not up to speed on the rescheduled date, so I started with that. But Mike corrected me that there is going to be a quorum on
July 26th, like we've talked, Diane.
Oh, so it's going to be the 26th now. Move to July 26th. Okay, it was the 26th, and now it is the 26th again. Okay, I'll change it on my calendar.
All righty, thank you. Sorry for the confusion. It's herding cats with some of you people, I tell you.
Especially in the summertime.
Well, it is. I appreciate everyone's cooperation. Hopefully you heard that, Diane.
It's adjourned.
And
yes, I adjourned it.
Okay.
Meeting adjourned.
thank you, Diane. We'll work on this.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
Probably the bandwidth. Because we kicked